Okay, and we are live. Miss Tamsyn Gregory. As you can see, my name is Johnna Bateman, but you can also call me Grace, whichever one is good for you. How are you doing today?
I'm lovely. Yes, I'm doing well.
You're lovely. You're doing well. I got a lot to see about what you do. I researched you, of course, and I saw you're into a lot of different things that are very interesting to me. And before we get into that, Miss Energy Healer, um, I do want to ask you a few questions about your current relationship status. That's just something that we always start off with. Are you single, married? Divorced, dating, whatever? What are you?
Right. Well, I'm divorced. I used to be married, but I am currently seeing somebody. Yes.
Okay, from divorce to dating. When did you get married?
Oh, I was young. I got married when I was 20. So
20?
I'm 39 now. So yeah, I was married when I
Okay.
was 20 and I was married for 7 years.
Really? Did you have any children from that marriage?
Yeah, 2 kids.
Okay, you had two kids, boy or girl?
One of each.
One of each. That's great. So, how did you meet your ex-husband?
How did I meet him? It
Mhm.
was through a mutual friend at a pub.
Okay, at a pub.
Yeah.
And what was the difficult parts of your relationship?
Will you dive right in? Okay. The difficult parts of our relationship was um, he was narcissistic and
Okay.
there was also addiction issues
What kind of addiction?
to alcohol and marijuana.
Okay, okay. Alcohol and marijuana. All right. And was the marijuana the issue or was the alcohol the issue?
It's a good question. Both were though, yeah.
Both were. Okay. And when did you realize there was, this ain't gonna work?
Well, that's one of my favorite questions because I actually knew prior to getting married.
Wow. You knew before marriage. Did you have this I really want to get married thing, or what was it? What made you want to get married so bad?
I think it was I think it was more getting caught up in like we had actually had like a blowout of a fight and I said, I don't think this is right. I don't feel this is right. And
Mhm.
he had come back to me with all the right answers
Mhm.
and there was a lot of fear. I was very young, but there was a lot of
Mhm.
fear that maybe I wouldn't find love again or
A
maybe that
lie.
was a mistake. It was, well, what it really was
Mhm.
not listening to my intuition, right? I
Right,
brushed that
right.
aside and I started looking at what he was saying and I said, okay, let's try
Mhm.
again. Yeah.
Right, right. And so, when did you end up saying, "Okay, I can't do it anymore. I knew I wasn't supposed to get in this marriage in the first place, but now I've got to get out."
The first time was shortly after I had my first child, my daughter.
Mhm.
And it just really became apparent to me that I didn't want my daughter to think that this was how
Okay.
to be loved or how to be in a relationship.
Mhm.
And I brought it to my husband's attention, and it was just always he always had the right answers, and so I kind of pushed it aside and pushed it aside. And I grew up religious, going to church every
Mhm.
Sunday, and I, when I got married, I never wanted to not be married. I was there for life. That
Mhm.
was it.
Right.
So I kind of just kept telling myself that. And then I had my son, and the issues just kept getting larger and larger.
Mhm.
And I think I just
Mhm.
started to get stronger and stronger and
That's
understood that,
good.
what I understood that what I was feeling and what I was saying was valid, and that it
Right.
didn't matter what somebody else had to say or how pretty it was packaged, that that's
Right.
still how I was feeling, right?
What were some of the things that he says that was narcissistic?
Well, a lot of it was very controlling, very much um, like, I love you, I love you, I love you, but now I'm going to knock you down and make you feel like you're this big. but
Mhm.
I love you. So, and I don't mean to hurt you. Like, you're kind of crazy for feeling that way. So,
Mm.
and I love you. So, and so it was just this kind of game. Um,
Mhm.
and just it was a constant belittling, making me
Mhm.
feel less than. And
Right.
yeah, and any time that I would bring it up, he would just say that he didn't mean to. He didn't. That was not
Yeah.
his intentions, but it never
Right.
changed, right?
And he really never took responsibility for what he was doing. At the time, did you realize that this was narcissistic behavior?
No, not at all. It actually
Mhm.
took me probably 2 years after I left him for me to even say out loud that there was verbal abuse in our marriage. Like, I didn't even
Mhm.
know that was a thing when it was
Mhm.
happening. I mean, I was aware that something wasn't
Right.
right, but it's hard to look at those things when
R-
you're in.
Right. So before, because you were very, very young when you married him. 1 second, please. Let's wait for her to get back. Let us wait for her to come back.
I'm not sure why that cut me out. Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. It's fine. So like I was saying, you were very young once you married him. So did you date before him at all? Did you have a chance to really date?
Not really, no. I mean, I had, when I was like 15, I had this one boy that I was head over heels in love with, but, it wasn't even really
Right.
dating. Yeah.
So you didn't even meet anyone new until what, maybe 30 years old?
Yeah, yeah, John and we divorced. I was 25 when I left that marriage.
Okay, 25.
Um, and yeah, I then dated, I've only dated two other guys.
Okay.
And then now this one that I'm in a relationship with now. So
Okay. And so was there any infidelity in your relationship, your marriage?
no, no.
That's really good. So
Yeah,
he was head over heels for you, but he didn't know how to control himself.
that's right. Yeah.
Wow. And you ended the marriage.
Yeah.
How did he take it?
It wasn't good. It was looking back now, I understand um that he had like a very big heart and he never knew how to handle his emotions properly, right? Like you said, it was
Mhm.
and so when I said that I wanted the marriage to be done, it was basically a giant outburst of emotions that went on for a
Okay.
couple hours. And
Okay.
um,
And how is he now?
um, he actually passed away a year ago
Wow.
from an overdose.
Wow. And how did you take that?
Well, that was really hard. So after we divorced, he kind of spiraled down this, party lifestyle. And
Mhm.
that was, a lot of years of, well, I guess it would have been what I was 25 when the marriage ended. So yeah, that was 14 years of kind of watching him live this lifestyle and trying to sort of protect the kids and also
Mhm.
talk to them about why their dad was a certain way. Um,
Mm.
and so that was very difficult over the years
Yeah.
because he would fight that.
Mhm.
And so actually, the night before he passed away, he had called me and he sounded very sick. Um, and he didn't sound good at all. And I told him I wanted him to go into the hospital. And we hadn't actually spoke for months on the phone prior to that. It
Mhm.
was only through email. So it was interesting. But um, yeah, anyways, I got off the phone and I took the kids for a drive and I told them that, I'd spoke to their dad and I said, he didn't sound very healthy. And I just really wanted them to be aware that if he was to actually get sick because of his lifestyle, he may not be that strong to be able to fight whatever sickness he were to get.
Mhm.
And I woke up the next morning to a call that he had passed away a few hours after I'd got off the phone with him. So,
Wow. And it seems like over the years your heart just broke for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't even, it just seems like it's a case that couldn't be solved. It
Yeah,
was,
I spent many, many years angry, so angry with him, and angry that he would put us in this situation and put me in the situation of having to work harder as a mom to explain his issues, to, all of this stuff. And I don't know. I think once I got to a place of true healing for myself, I was able to
mhm.
understand that he was just his own, spirit, having his
Yeah.
own war with himself. And,
Mhm.
all we can do is love them the best that we
Right.
can, right? And
Right.
I was tired of fighting. I was still
Yeah.
fighting with him, even though we weren't married. So,
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
yeah,
Because you wanted him to be the best he could for your children. And
yeah.
how did your children take that?
It's been very tough for them, but I think because they had an understanding prior to him dying that he had an addiction and that, he lived a certain way, it wasn't such a big shock in that sense.
Right.
Um, they have a pretty good understanding of what happened, and they're just struggling with trying to live life without their dad, and whatever, relationship they had prior to that, whatever state it was, it's still,
Yeah.
their dad is still gone, right? So,
Right. And how old were they when he passed?
my daughter was 17 and my son was 15.
Wow, I was 15 when my dad passed.
Wow.
And I definitely, understand, it's just weird. It's a
Yeah.
very weird, empty feeling. So I'm definitely sorry. I'm sure you all are still mourning, especially them. And you said you took time to heal from leaving him. Now you get hurt all over again. And and you're asking life at one point, when is this pain gonna end? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And please, and you're hoping like, please not this year. You
Yes.
know, not this year. God, whatever you believe in, just give me a break.
Yes.
Give me a
Yeah.
break. I understand that, and it's like a lot of us feel that way when we go through loss. We're just like, give me a break, life, please. And I know this is a tough subject. I see it. So we're gonna move on. Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to know about Miss Energy Healer, intuitive artist. You got a lot of things that you do, and you needed it obviously because you
Yes.
went through a lot, and now you help others get through the things that you have been through. Even though you're still going through, it's a continued healing, right?
That's right.
Right. So tell me how you got into that.
Okay, that's another deep, painful story, but
Okay.
I'm okay with sharing it because it is
Okay.
important message. But
Hmm.
so it would have been 2 years after I left my husband. I ended up having issues with my bladder, and it wasn't a major issue. I would just pee a little bit if I coughed or like went running. And
Hmm.
so I went into the doctor and he said, your bladder is prolapsing. So he said, we're going to put in a sling. It's called mesh, transvaginal mesh. And he said, it's really simple. I was managing at a restaurant at the time, single
Hmm.
mom working. I was like, I need to just get back to work. Yeah, okay, let's
Right.
do it. I did get a second opinion that doctor said it's fine. And he told me that I might have to have it redone in 5 years. No, no big deal. So I had this surgery, and right away after that, I started to have a lot of issues, what felt like bladder infections, but they could never find an infection. And so that started to get worse and worse.
When you
And
say bladder infection, like, did it feel? Oh, we lost her again. Let's wait till she gets back. Look, it was like it was getting good. Who's trying to knock her off? That's why it's not right there.
it really interesting. I don't know why it's doing it.
I don't know. They don't want us to know what you trying to tell us. That's
Right,
what
it's
I'm
an important
thinking.
message.
It's an important message.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you said bladder infection, did it feel like a UTI? Is that how it felt?
Yes.
Ooh, that's gotta be
So
painful.
it got to the point where I couldn't work anymore.
Mhm.
And so I was seeing all kinds of specialists, and they basically told me that I had interstitial cystitis, just a painful bladder disease. Basically, I was out of luck.
Mhm.
And I had a phone call from a friend, and she said, Tamsyn, my mother-in-law has the same thing. She has mesh like you do. And she said, she really wants you to know that there's like huge issues with the mesh and that it's
Mhm.
probably causing your pain. And I was like, no,
Mhm.
like that can't be, because the doctors told me it's not the mesh. The doctors told me it's this.
They had
Yeah.
ads like commercial about transvaginal mesh.
Yes. So this was like just over 10 years ago. So at that time, it was not nearly as known about, but they did have some of those ads. Anyways, I told her, thanks for calling me, but that's not what's happening. Like that terrified me. That couldn't be what was happening.
Mhm.
And my condition just got worse. I was actually like in bed. I couldn't care for my kids anymore.
Mm.
I was in so much pain, and she contacted me again. She said, Tamsyn, please just look, like Google it and see if it, coincides with when you had your surgery. So I thought, okay,
Mhm.
what
And
harm
this
will
is
it do?
the
Oh, look.
doctor talking to you?
No, that was a girlfriend who her
Oh, girlfriend.
mother-in-law had the mesh too.
Okay, got you. Mhm.
So I looked it up, and there was hundreds and hundreds of women that were going through the same thing. And I thought, it all lines up. It started right after I had the mesh put in. It obviously, if the doctors can't find anything, it obviously has to be this mesh. So I started to look into that and do research on that. And every specialist that I saw basically wanted nothing to do with me because lawsuits were starting. So they didn't want to
Mm.
be any part of that. And when they looked at my mesh, it seemed to be okay. So I spent years, like years, on many different painkillers. They tried every kind of prescription for my pain, from like, you know, uh, psycho stuff for your brain, like, because they just thought it was all in my head. Um, anyways, it took me 8 years, and almost dying twice from that mesh before I found a surgeon that was willing to do the removal for this mesh.
And this
Um,
mesh is supposed to be helping with the bladder issue.
That's right. But what they don't tell you is, number one, it actually was not made to go in a human body. The makers, the manufacturers of the mesh, they covered that up, and they found a loophole in the FDA so that they were able to, sell
Make
it.
money.
That's right. And so,
Crazy.
and there's so many things with this mesh. It's actually designed to shrink 20% in the first year. So can you imagine? It meshes into your tissues and your tissues inside, and then shrinks 20%. Can you imagine what it's pulling on and what damage it's doing in there with that alone? Okay.
And why? What is it shrinking? Shrinking for what?
Like the plastic, it's made out of plastic, and so it shrinks itself. The actual
Mhm.
mesh shrinks 20% in the first year that it's inside your body.
What
It's
is it
just
supposed to
part
be
of,
shrinking for?
it's not supposed to really be. It's just part of, like, if
Okay.
you put whatever, I can't think, like plastic in your car, sometimes it
Okay.
expands or whatever. So
Ooh, and like the
yes, so it's doing
chemicals
that.
get
Yeah.
off. Ooh.
So because it's made out of polypropylene, which is the same plastic that our vehicles are made out of, your body cannot actually break it down. So I was
Mm.
having a foreign body reaction, like an allergic reaction. So imagine, you see people that get piercings and the body rejects it.
Mhm.
Can you imagine if they would leave that in, even though it was trying to reject it? Can you imagine how awful that would
Yeah.
be? That's what was
Yeah.
happening inside. My body was trying to reject it, because it was allergic to it, and nobody was looking at that. Nobody was able to see that. And so it was 8 years in my body like that. The pain was like burning barbed wire twisting 24/7 inside.
Wow. Oh my gosh. And
It
and when you went to get it removed, they refused?
the yeah, I'd seen three different specialists that said, no, this isn't what's causing your pain. Or there was one that he said he would remove it, but he would only remove half of it. And I said, Why would I allow you to cut me open, take
Right.
half of it for me to continue having this issue? There's no way.
Right.
So, anyways, I had the two, finally found the surgeon that she said, I'm trained to do the removal. It's not going to be easy. She said I have to do it in two major surgeries. So the first surgery was to cut internally, hip bone to hip bone, and then straight out the vagina. That was the incision they had to make just to go in and remove part of this mesh. And when she got in there, she said that when she touched the mesh to try and pull it out, it like shattered, like she'd never seen before. So she had to spend hours picking these little fragments out. Those,
Wow.
now what she doesn't know, because I spent years researching mesh,
Mhm.
some of those little fragments stay in there forever. They can't
Yeah,
even be
right.
visible to the eye, right?
Right.
So it's lifelong disability and damage that can be done by mesh that people don't know. You go in like me and you're like, you're told this will fix your bladder issue. And you know what? It never even fixed my bladder issue. It
Right.
never even fixed it. So
They just wanted to sell you something.
that's right.
That
So
that stuff
anyways,
makes me angry. Like,
yes,
but yeah.
furious, furious. So the second surgery, they did external incisions, hip bone to hip bone. And when she went inside, she found that it had fused to my pubic bone, and they had to shave part of my pubic bone off to get it out.
I don't know. It's all of this is for money.
Yeah,
Killing people just so you can make a buck.
yeah,
That's evil. I mean,
yeah.
that's what it is, and it makes you not even want to trust doctors. Because I mean, who has your best interest at heart? I
That's
came
right.
to you for help, and you was looking at me like I'm some money.
Yeah.
So and then this brought you to Reiki. Is that how you pronounce it?
Reiki. So
Reiki.
Reiki was something I was curious about many years ago. So when I left my husband, I went to school for massage therapy. And that was
Mhm.
when I first started to be aware of energy. Prior to that,
Okay.
energy was, I don't know, foreign to me.
Mhm.
But yeah, so massage. And so, I'd heard people talk about Reiki and energy work, but I still didn't know much about it. But yes, so my healing journey, trying to deal
Mhm.
with pain, emotional healing through what I'd been through, I eventually ended up in the hands of a beautiful Reiki master,
Mhm.
who it just completely changed my life, completely.
Mhm.
And I couldn't even really put into words what was being done because it was energy work, right? So
Mhm.
there's a lot that you can't even really explain. It's kind of like for people that believe in God or spirit, or, like there's the things that we can't explain. I don't know why I look outside when I say that. That's where I'm looking. If
Mhm.
you guys are wondering.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we can't explain about faith, and these
Yeah.
things that are not there for the visible
Yeah.
eye,
Mhm.
right? But yeah, so well, 2 years ago, we moved from, I was in Fort St. John, where all my family was, and when their dad, he actually moved away, and he was kind of really getting into a bad scene. We moved here to Vancouver Island. I just packed up the
Mhm.
kids, just me, my two kids, and our cat, and I sold almost everything, and we came here.
Y'all in another
And
part of Canada?
yeah, it's close to Seattle for those of you that
Okay.
know
Okay.
Seattle.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So we're just across the water from Seattle, but
Okay.
it's so beautiful here. And
Mhm.
um, I had just lost my dad, and I was caring for my dad
Mhm.
while I was sick. My dad had COPD, chronic obtrusive pulmonary disease,
Wow.
and it was the most grueling, slowest death I've ever watched somebody go through. And the pain that I had to watch him go through, and the pain I had to go through of watching him,
Yeah.
um, it made me crazy. And
Yeah,
so,
I bet.
um, yeah, moving here, I was like, I need to, I dove into my healing myself, and wanted to also,
Here we are. They don't want her to tell the story. We're gonna wait for her to go back, come back on. It's getting really interesting. Mhm. It's okay. Go ahead, tell your story.
this is like the most difficult interview you've ever done.
Look, it's not. Look, I'm just going through it. I'm just waiting for you to come back on. I'm listening.
Okay. So anyways, I knew that what I had experienced through my ex-husband, through my medical journey, through physical pain, and then through watching my father die and care for him, I knew, and being a single mom through all of it, that I had, I had carried myself through that with many different healing modalities that I had learned myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I'd gotten to this place where I now could share what
Mm-hmm.
I had used to get me to that certain place. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You got to show us something.
No, I got to plug my phone in so I don't die on you.
Oh, that's probably why it's cutting off. It's probably trying to save the battery.
Maybe. I don't know.
So,
It's really weird. Okay, there.
okay, so when the bladder ordeal, it led you to what part of the healing or the intuitive artist? How was it called?
Oh,
Um,
okay. So, like my artistic side?
yeah, I'm trying to see what is the because it seems like there's a pain that led you into something. Each
Yes.
one. So
So,
I'm trying to link them together.
yes. So in 2015, they had put me on some super heavy duty painkillers, and she actually crossed a sleeping pill with that was not supposed to be mixed with that, and I almost died.
Wow.
Um, that changed my life. Like, it wasn't shortly after that I remember sitting on my couch and I was looking at a painting that somebody had given me, and it was just abstract colors, and I was sitting there really wallowing in pain, in everything that I'd
Mhm.
experienced, and feeling completely abandoned by the medical industry. Like, at one point I actually, and this is going to sound crazy to some people that just can't understand it, but at
Mhm.
one point I wished that I would have had cancer, because then I would have had the support from the
Mm.
medical community to deal with it. Whereas with the mesh, you were shunned because they wanted nothing to do with it because of the lawsuits. There wasn't enough
Mhm.
knowledge out there. There wasn't enough. Anyways,
Yeah.
so I remember sitting there looking at this painting and thinking, if I don't change how I am coping with what's happening to me, I'm not going to survive this, and I need something. And so I thought, I'm just going to go get some canvas and some paint, and I'm just going to make a mess with it. Like, I knew at that point that color therapy is very healing for your soul, right? It doesn't matter what you
Mhm.
do. So that was my whole intention with that. And I just went on YouTube and looked at, whatever painting I thought was pretty, and kind of copied that or did my own thing with that. And my mom was like my hugest supporter, and she was like, "It's beautiful, Tamsyn. I'm going to send you some more canvas. You need to create a business on Facebook." And I was like, "Are you nuts? Like, I'm not making a business on Facebook, Mom. That's crazy."
Right.
But I listened to her,
Uh-huh.
and it just really evolved from there. I mean, there were nights where I couldn't sleep, so I would go downstairs and I would just paint.
Hey, I love that. And you have, I was thinking, I said, hold on, remember I told you I'm going out of town. I have paint here, and I know that you have an event on Saturday, and I'm thinking while you're talking, I'm gonna bring my paint with me. And
Yes.
I'm gonna bring something. I have an easel. I have an
Oh,
easel. I was like, I want to paint, I've been
yes.
yeah, I'm gonna paint too because when you were saying art therapy, I remember I like well you said color therapy, but I call it art therapy. And I like listening to calming music and just coloring in the line.
Yes.
I love that. I mean,
It's so good.
wow. I
Yeah.
mean, so yeah, anyone who's interested, Tamsyn has an online painting event and it's therapeutic, right?
Yeah, this one is especially designed for women. So it's a female empowerment class. And I'm going to start it off with a little bit of a guided meditation. And we're going to be painting like female hips, and then just
Okay.
flowers in the hips. It's very abstracty.
Okay.
But the whole point of it is to be healing for us, right? We carry so much pain and suffering in that area of our body. Yeah,
Yeah. That's why the hips big
that's
because it
right.
got because it got all that stuff in there. But Tamsyn, I know it's hitting almost 30 minutes. I know you gotta have a book with all of this in there.
That book is coming, but I do not have it yet. But I think I got about 5 books.
Yeah, you have to write them in segments or you're gonna be writing forever. So you
That's
gotta
it.
have book for this, book for that, book for this, book for that.
Yes,
But
yes,
this is it's too big of a story to
yes,
talk in a 30-minute session.
yes.
So we've definitely got to get you back on here. And I just is there anything you want to say before uh you have stuff to offer us some of this stuff? I'm trying to figure out, hold on, where can we find Tim? Look, I had to call her. I was like, let me reach out. Look, I was trying to find where you were at on Instagram. I'm over here looking at Tamsyn Gregory, and I'm just finding all these. I was like,
I
where
do
is
have
she?
so much going on. So yeah, for those of you that want to find me, I do have Tamsyn's Art for Your Soul. That's on Facebook or Instagram. And I
Can you
am
put it in the comments, or is it gonna shut off when you try to put it in the comments?
I don't know. I can try.
Ugh,
And there's also I'm a transformational life coach, and I
okay.
obviously I specialize with women that have went through trauma, through difficult divorces, through loss, through pain and suffering. Those are all my. I know those
Right.
well.
Look, what's the website? That might be the easiest one to go to.
So I don't have a website. It's just
Okay.
Tamsin Marie on Facebook
Oh
is my.
yeah, it sure is. 'Cause I found that one as well. Tamsyn
Yeah.
Marie. Look, I found her, and I was trying to figure out when I called. I was like, "Why is it ringing like that?" It was like boop, and I thought you was in the United States, but you're in a whole other country. I'm like,
I'm in
I'm thinking,
Canada.
are they gonna charge me for that call? That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh Lord
Oh, you're
Jesus.
adorable. I'm so happy that we got to visit. And you're right, there is far
Yeah.
too much to talk about.
It is. I'm look now. I'm trying to find Tamsyn Marie, and I can't even find. Oh, here we. Hold on. That's University of Plymouth. That's not you, is it?
Oh, weird. No, that's not
How
me.
about this? You put it down there so
Okay.
they can find you.
Okay.
And is there anything that you want to say before you leave? Before we leave?
Yeah, there's the one thing I just, oh my God, really? What are you?
She's so funny. I think it may have ended. Oh, you know what? She came back. She said, "Are you serious?" Look, it's okay. Look,
I
let's
just
hurry up. They try to get us off.
I really want people to know that I have been in very dark places where I thought there was no hope, where there was no light, where there was, nobody. And I really didn't think I was going to come out of it. So I just really want, if anybody is in that position right now, I want you to trust that there is light at the end of the tunnel, even if you can't see it or feel it, because it's there. It is there. So I just, yeah, that's all I
Thank
want.
you so much, Tams, and we appreciate you and everyone else. We will see you on Sunday. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.